All right, so I was looking through our vehicle overview videos and I realized I never did a video for the JcrManche. How could I have forgotten that? Well, now it is time. It's gonna be long, so let's get started. All right, here it is, the JcrManche. This is our SEMA vehicle build for last year. It is a 1989 Jeep Comanche with a 1997 Cherokee front clip, Cherokee 4-liter. The transmission is from a TJ, an 05 TJ. It's the NSG 370 with the NP 241 rock track from that same TJ Rubicon. There are a ton of little upgrades and parts and features on this thing, so let's get into it. We bought this truck in North Carolina. It had already had the front 97 conversion done, but it was silver. It was kind of painted Mako paint job, so not super great. It was on an unknown 3-inch lift and some baldish 31s or 32s or whatever. So the first thing that we did is we stripped this truck down entirely, pulled the whole drivetrain out of it, just took everything apart, took it over to Pete's, and we did about a month of body work on this and about a month of paint on this. A lot of the time for the body work was just kind of making this thing straight, being it's like 30 years old. And we also made this custom hood. So this is a reproduction Mustang Mach 1 hood scoop that we fit to this hood. So the hood scoop was pretty flat and this hood has a slight curve in it. So we actually marglassed that hood scoop and fit it on the hood. Took a lot of work. And then we made these hood vents here at JCR. They're aluminum. We did a custom press die to make these, and then we cut the hood and then undermounted them. So this is a steel hood, a factory 97 XJ steel hood, custom hood vents, Mustang Mach 1 hood scoop that's functional. I'll show you when I pop the hood, that hood scoop. So stock XJ front clip here, running the truck light LED headlights and just some cheapy eBay clear corners that we smoked with kind of a dark candy clear coat smoke. The front is our Vanguard, JCR Vanguard bumper, and then the big Baja Designs LP9s in amber, just looking awesome up there. Xeon 10S from Warn was their synthetic line, and then an orange Factor 55 on the front. Warn, Epic shackles, and then the Baja Design Squadron Sports in combo pattern in amber as well. I'm gonna jump all around this truck. These videos aren't scripted, so I'm just gonna talk about stuff as it comes to me, so I hope that doesn't bother you too much. At any rate, for axles on this truck, in the front we are running a Teraflex. This is a CRD 60. This is a off-the-shelf part from them for a TJ. So we're running that axle. It has 488 gears, an ARB locker, and RCV shafts. So this is a ball joint style 60 from Teraflex. We are running a West Texas off-road redneck ram, and then this is Teraflex's steering for a TJ. So that works without any problems. Up front we have a set of 6-inch Teraflex XJ coils. These are not a part they offer anymore. I don't know where they found them, but this is probably the last set that they have. So 6-inch XJ lift coils. And then we are running a Teraflex Street Trail Swaybar. This is a TJ Street Trail Swaybar. And then I made these brackets that kind of mimic the front cross member of a TJ. So there's a bolt here, then there's a bolt inside, and then these poly or Delrin or whatever plastic spacers go in there, and then this mounts just like it would through the cross member of a TJ, and then you have the options to turn it for street and trail. So that's really awesome. So there's a softer bar inside of a stiffer bar. That works really, really great. The track bar mount is from Ironman 4x4 Fab, and the track bar is from Teraflex. Ironman 4x4 Fab has some really sweet, beefy parts for Cherokees and ZJs and Comanches and everything, so check them out. Up front, to match the Teraflex coils, we are running Falcon monotube shocks. I think, if I remember correctly, these are JK 2-door 3-inch lift, I think. You'll have to measure to be sure. And then the Notch Customs fender flares. Of course. All right, and then a little custom Manche mull-rated decal. All right, for rock sliders, we are running our MJ Classic sliders. We developed these a long time ago, discontinued them because they didn't sell. They're back on the market now, so you can get these. And then we custom made this MJ roof rack to hold a Baja Designs 50-inch single row light bar, and to also hold a Baja Design set of chase lights with turn signals, running lights, stop lamps, and a cargo light. And this is also a great spot to mount our fire extinguisher back there. So that's a custom rack. A lot of people ask for that, so that is actually available. We didn't think anyone would really want it. We made it really to hold a pizza sign and to hold all those lights, but it looks really cool. Kind of a retro, I don't know how to describe it, but we really dig it. So obviously Notch Customs, fender flares in the rear. We'll crawl underneath that. I'll show you the suspension here in a second. Kind of just walk around in a way that makes somewhat of sense. If you can read this, Bring Me Pizza decal from CML. It was a pizza delivery truck, so we left that. That's our MJ rear bumper with another pair of the Baja Design Squadrons. And those are the scene covers, the scene amber covers for those lights. More worn Epic shackles. Another thing we did was we relocated the gas tank skid, or the gas tank rather. On an MJ, the gas tank usually runs parallel to the frame rails on the driver's side. We actually are running a TJ tank, just a stock TJ tank, sending unit pump and everything, with our stock TJ gas tank skid. Well, not stock, our in-stock TJ gas tank skid. So that's a skid that we make every day. So I made no changes to the tank and no changes to our skid. I just cut some of the cross member up here to French the skid. You can kind of see right there. Usually you see where those are drilled out, those spot welds are drilled out. That usually has a box cross member. I just cut that up, and then we just bolted the TJ tank and skid right up to it. It's a good time to show you the back here. Running the Falcons Resis back here. Those are the same kind of, I think they're rear Resis from a JK. You'll have to measure to be sure. Don't take my word on the shocks. I had a lot of sleepless nights and I don't remember everything, but, and then the rear here is a semi-float Teraflex 60 for a TJ as well, 488 gears, Arb Lockers, all that fun stuff. I can't remember exactly what lift height coils these are. I know they're TJ rear coils. They're either 2-inch or 3-inch. And then I'm using the speed bumps, Teraflex speed bumps, cut into the frame there with a little mount with that plastic upper coil isolator there. And that's what's holding the coils in. So down here we have the the Teraflex mounts on the axle for a TJ. Up there, we just Frenched the Teraflex speed bumps into the frame rails, and it works great. Limit straps out, so we're not pulling on those shocks at full extension. And that's the Teraflex, I'm pretty sure, yes, that's the Teraflex upper triangulated 4-link bracket on that axle. Let's roll around underneath the front here. You probably noticed already that there's no leaf springs in this truck anymore. We did a coil spring conversion, 4-link, double triangulated. Ironman 4x4 Fab developed this whole lift kit for us, or I'm sorry, this whole suspension for us. So solid aluminum links, double triangulated, some pretty great mounts here that weld onto the uniframe / frame rails. MJs have a frame rail peeking out past the cab, so it makes it easy to do stuff like this. So there you can see those mounts. Lots of adjustability in these mounts. So we can change the numbers on this axle, anti-squat, all that exciting stuff. Beef, it's a little dirty under here. We actually, we use this Jeep, so. And then 1350 drive shaft from, of course, Adams Driveshafts, front and rear. All right, so I'm gonna jump around a little bit. Let's go to the front suspension. Is also Ironman 4x4 Fab. This is their builder cradle. So this cradle system crossmember is designed to do a 4-link, a 3-link, whatever you're looking for. We're doing their solid aluminum links as well. This center portion bolts out, so you can get the transmission and transfer case out. And then this is fully adjustable as well. Lower length is adjustable, and upper separation at the frame is adjustable. And then tons of room for another 1350 shaft from our friends at Adams going into that high pinion Dana 60. Exhaust is Magnaflow components. The exhaust is all custom made. We built it here. So you got your crossover there. That's 2.5-inch stainless from Magnaflow. Nice bluing on the stainless. Comes back here to a Magnaflow high flow cat with an integrated O2 sensor bung for that rear O2 sensor. Then we're running a Magnaflow 18-inch stainless muffler, and then the rest of the exhaust pops up there and then goes back over the axle and then out the back. And I can kind of show you where that goes. That's the 241J rock track out of a TJ Rubicon. We just painted it up to look new. And then the whole underside of this truck is all bed lined with just stuff out of a can, Duplicolor or whatever, just to keep it looking nice. And then all of the fuel lines and wire lines are black and loomed, running black Aero-equipped AN hose there with a little Russell auxiliary fuel pump filter. Pretty cool. You can take those apart and clean them. I think that's it for underneath. I think. Let's pop back up again. Talked about the notch flares. And then here is that Magnaflow tip kind of poking out right there, protected by the gas tank skid. Tail lights are original. We sanded them down and then painted that same cherry black candy clear over them. They're a little dark if that's the only thing that people are going to see you stop with, but remember there's a chase light up there. So if you miss the chase light, yeah, I can't, not my problem. In the back, we're running our JCR Universal Pre-Runner tire carrier to hold that big 37-12-5-17 Nitto Trail Grap MT, awesome tire. And then that is a stock JL Rubicon wheel. Really like the way they look on there. And then that's our universal license plate bracket with the Manche license plate. High lift jack in their lock rack mount. Oh, and you saw the gas tank under the bed. That's how we fill it. Just a rally style billet aluminum race cap there. Raised just a little bit so you don't have to worry about water and stuff getting in there. This portion of the sheet metal right here we added before we bedlined the truck. So ground everything down, added this little box here so we had a nice flat portion to mount the rally cap to. Looks factory, can't even tell. And then of course we Rhino lined the bed because they are the best. Rhino linings. Oh, what's that? What's a nitrous bottle? Of course. We'll talk more about that later. Oh, and then that's a slide for our 40-quart Dometic cooler. So, or refrigerator rather. 40-quart Dometic refrigerator or fridge. Delicious cold drinks or ice cream or whatever on the trail. So that slide we just leave in here permanently when we take the truck off-road. Throw the Dometic on there. We have a little 12-volt socket right there for that. Works awesome. Everything on this truck was refinished, repainted. You can see all of the hardware, all of the latches. We sandblasted everything. We tried to repurpose these rubber mounts because you can't find any of this stuff anywhere anymore. So those are the original rubber tailgate mounts, but all this is sandblasted, and then we black oxide coated everything with just black oxide primer. We talked about the 37 Nittos, we talked about the JL Rubicon wheels, the rock sliders. Oh, there's a little, then instead of a Wrangler, you know we have to do custom stuff, so that's our little Manche right there on a decal sticking over. Teraflex big brakes. This is actually a CB antenna in place of the factory FM antenna. We're just running a CB, just a whip there. I think it's a 54-inch whip. All right, let's look inside. Got an open glove box. Damn Cherokees. All right, so here's the interior of the Manche. Pretty modernized. We are running Rugged Ridge's racing seat suspension, racing seats on modified Cherokee bucket brackets. So we are running all of the Cherokee steel tin cross members on the floor. We weld those into the floor, and then Cherokee seats, and then Rugged Ridge makes these specifically for Cherokees and TJs and all that. Super comfortable seats. This is a modern Cherokee interior, so this is a 97 Cherokee interior. There is a upper console from a Cherokee that is shortened. So Pete, shout out to Pete for shortening that for us. Cleaned it all up, wrapped it, looks great. The headliner in this truck is poor to medium. It's so hard to find a Comanche headliner, and this one is falling apart. So we reupholstered it as best as we could and stuck it up there, but I'm still looking for a new old stock or a better condition Comanche headliner to replace that one. Let's go to the other side. It'll be a little easier to see stuff. Oh, Rugged Ridge floor mats, Cherokee specific. Rugged Ridge is great. They make a lot of Cherokee specific parts that we used in this build. They're some of the only people that are making Cherokee specific reproduction parts. So if you have a Jeep Cherokee or any Jeep really, just check them out for some awesome reproduction parts, aftermarket parts. All right, this is a Grant steering wheel, suede covered steering wheel. They have officially licensed Jeep horn buttons that pop into their steering wheels. This is their billet aluminum adapter. And then what I did to make this work on a Cherokee column is I actually machined the Cherokee steering wheel hub out of the center of a wheel, and then I'm mounting this billet aluminum Grant adapter onto that. So what that gets is we still have a clock spring in this truck. So the horn still works, the turn signal, deactivation, all that still works. So we're keeping the clock spring, and we have an aftermarket wheel. It was kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest, but I think it's worth it once you see that really cool Grant wheel there. Gauges from As These Design Works. These mimic McLaren gauges. And then you kind of did a little homage to McLaren with the JcrOffroad logo right there. The thing with McLaren is I wanted McLaren Volcano Orange for this truck. They don't release their paint codes, so we couldn't have it. So we have a little bit of McLaren right there in the gauge cluster. They look really, really good. And then we're running Autometer Sportcomps. Oh, what's that right there? It says Boost. We'll talk about that in a second. And then Sportcomp wideband in the dial style, because I really like the way the dial style looks compared to the digital style. I thought it fit the truck a lot better. As gauge treatment continues to this radio adapter bezel to convert the 1.5 DIN or whatever it is to single DIN, and instead of a radio we're running a Cobra 18 WXSTI super popular CB, and then As work on the HVAC controls, and then a neat little shifter there. Where are you going, to county or are you going to go to prison? The 6-speed, remember. And then Kicker sent over this little Bluetooth in-dash, it's for boats or UTVs or whatever. It's waterproof, has an amplifier, works with your phone or whatever. So that is really awesome. And then the amp's hidden underneath the center console. Shout out to Bleepin' Jeep. Dashes are, the amp is under the center console here, and then I put the tweeters up on the dash panel right there. The 6 1/4 or 5 1/2 or whatever they are in the doors, and then there's a Kicker powered subwoofer hiding back there behind the passenger seat, covered in Moab dust. And then all the switch panels and switches, as he printed on the switches for me. And then these panels are 3D printed by, man, I can't remember. I'm gonna go ahead and put a link in the description once I find out where these are. So look in the description for where you can get the switch panel there for the Contura rockers, and then the 3-switch panel there for more Contura rockers. And then Azzy printed on top of those for us. And he also printed on the Contura rockers and carried that hexagon pattern onto the rockers. So, you know, front locker, rear locker, a little bit of brap, and then a purge button. A purge button for the brap. So what's the story behind the brap? I'll tell you later. And then, oh, we're dumb. So here are the driving lights, spotlights, light bar, rock lights, reverse lights, cargo lights. Makes perfect sense. All right, I think that's everything in here. I don't think I missed anything inside the truck. Oh, let's pop the hood so we can see the important bits. I'll talk about the color really fast. This color is from a smart car. I believe it's called Midnight Orange Mica. It's a custom color for a smart car. It's also very, very similar to, I think it's Hurricane Orange for a Lamborghini, and as close as I could get to Volcano Orange from a McLaren. I love this color. It just shines and shimmers, and it changes color depending on the light. I helped Pete mix this color. There is so much pearl in this color. It is ridiculous. You can see it. It's a beautiful color. It's crazy expensive. I love it. I love every bit of it. All right, you want to see cool stuff. Let's talk about cool stuff. Bear with me while I pop this hood and shake the camera all around. Boom. All right, cool stuff. Like I said before, 97 4-liter, pretty stock. I blew the bottom end apart to make sure everything was okay. Everything looked great. We put some Harlan Sharp, I believe they're 1.7-to-1 roller rockers in there. That's it. Ignition system upgrades, doing the live wires. I think it's DEI that makes this 4-liter firepower ignition setup. I can't remember exactly. I believe it's DEI. Oh, that's the Painless Trail Rocker. So Painless Performance makes a full-size rocker system switch. That's where you saw all those switches in the dash tie into this. And this has full-size relays and full-size fuses, and that makes life really easy. That is my coolant. Oh, okay, I'm stalling. Boosted Technologies side mount M90 supercharger. Boom! This is really awesome. So they take a GM style M90 or M92 or whatever, I don't know exactly which one it is, and they make custom nose cone for it, and they make this custom adapter plate that they weld onto a football style manifold for a 4-liter. Look at that. Beautiful. Running about 7-ish pounds of boost or so, and the way they manage this on an older style non-programmable Jeep computer is there's a split-second computer here that reads off the, I'm going to say something dumb and everyone's going to yell at me. It's the map. Reads off the map sensor, and then once that sees boost, it adds more fuel in front of the supercharger via the 7th injector. So this fuel flows through the injector, the mist of the fuel helps cool the intake charge, and that adds the extra fuel you need to run a boosted motor. So Boosted Technologies offers these kits. You can get one for your 4-liter. I love it, and I love it because it's not a huge supercharger. It's a pretty small supercharger, and the style of this supercharger means that the boost is almost instant. So with a 4-liter, when all the torque starts low, your horsepower and your torque that the supercharger adds also starts low. It is so much fun. This truck is an absolute blast to drive. Just a blast. We are running just a factory steering pump here that Boosted has a bracket to relocate. We are running an external reservoir, and that's all running through that Redneck Ram hydraulic assist I showed you before. Just a replacement radiator, replacement auxiliary fan, and then I'm running the factory style clutch fan. And then Boosted supplies all the filters and everything you need for that. So pretty The kit's complete. It's pretty awesome. Love the power. Haven't dynoed it. Don't really plan on it. It's fun. It's got enough power. It's great. Oh, for you guys with 4 liters and Cherokees that you see that heat soak happen quite often, this is header tape. So I just wrap the rail in the header tape. It seems to help the heat soak issue a lot, along with the hood vents. So I told you before I'd show you, the hood scoop is functional. We bent that piece of perforated to match the hood line right there. And the vents are obviously functional. And that's a Baja Designs hood light, under hood light. So let's talk a second about BRAP. So when we built this truck, we built it for SEMA, like I said, and we decided that we wanted to have a theme, and that theme was pizza delivery truck that could deliver pizza to 30 minutes, or I'm sorry, deliver pizza anywhere, 30 minutes or less. Any trail, anywhere in the world, 30 minutes or less. And we thought, well, the Supercharger helps that quite a bit, but what else would help? How about a little bit of nitrous? So we were running a 50 shot of nitrous, a dry shot that is safe in here because there's plenty of fuel. Well, I don't know if Boost is going to tell you it's safe or not. They're probably not going to tell you it's safe, but this thing runs pretty rich, pretty safe at wide open throttle. So I felt like 50 shot, it's going to be okay. So the way I have this set up is I have a micro switch here on the throttle. So you have to go to wide open throttle for that micro switch to activate, and then I've got a boost pressure switch that activates at 3 psi. So once the nitrous is armed, you have to be at wide open throttle and 3 psi for the system to spray. And that's it. There's plenty of fuel at that portion of the map, works great. Oh, we also have a little touch right here. I gotta close the hood for you. I'll show you when I close the hood. I think that's it for underneath here. Big old Supercharger, pretty stock 4 liter, super ridiculously fun to drive. It's awesome. Let me drop this hood and I'll show you what I was telling you about on the scoop. Oh, Cherokee life. All right, on the back of the scoop there, you see it says 30 minutes. That light is activated when the nitrous is armed or less while you're spraying. So 30 minutes when it's armed or less when you're spraying. There's a couple other little details like that. I showed you the stickers on the wheels. JK started the little corner climber. We have our own little corner wheelier there. Man, I think that's it. I'm just gonna let you look at it a little bit while I make sure I got everybody. You know, a huge shout out to Pete Springett. He's helped us paint almost, I think, all of our Jeeps here at JCR. Him and I worked tirelessly on this Jeep when we built it, and without him, it just wouldn't happen. So I think all that's left to do is a big smoky burnout for science. I mean, you probably want to see that, right? And it's for scientific purposes, so of course it's legit. I'm just gonna go ahead and set my gimbal down here. A nice view of the Manche and the JCR U-Haul truck. Good, ready to go. Camera's recording. Like I said, this Supercharger is super duper fun because it makes boost so early. And these axles are geared right. And you can lock the rear locker in, and everything just works really great. Seatbelts? Seatbelts are always important for burnouts, right? It's warm. Oh, it sounds so good. Let's light it up. What do you think? All right, that's it. See, burnouts for science are awesome. Thanks so much for watching this video. I warned you it was going to be long. If you have any questions about this build, any of our builds, post them in the comments below and we'll get to them as soon as we can. Thanks for being part of the JcrOffroad family. Thanks for watching our videos. You're the reason we make cool stuff like this. We will talk to you soon.